are somebody who does not mail it in life. And everything you do, I've learned this about you over the past decade since I've known you. We met in a dance contest that was a charity event in Baton Rouge. And everything you do, you go out of your way to learn everything about it. And that is very rare. So hats off to you for recognizing how significant this movement in introducing bioactive precision peptides to the United States, because whoever is listening to this right now or watching this is among the first, more than likely, at least if it's in this year, to learn about bioactive precision peptides.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a great company. I love the founders. I mean, I've just felt like, gosh, it's just such a great base. It's not just a company that's like a big pharma where it's like, we want to make all this money. Mm-hmm. You know, you can tell that they really care about the people that they're helping. They care about the people that are helping the people. You know, like you as a company, you can tell that there's the stories you've said. I've only been not even a month yet, I guess, that I've been kind of learning about it in the industry, but the stories you tell, and when we see them on social media and all the things, they're just so genuine, and you can really tell that it's like a great way for us to increase people's knowledge on how to be healthy and to be proactive instead of being reactive with our medicine.
That's absolutely right. And it is a holistic approach. Mm-hmm. And so I can really appreciate you, with your medical background, also having such a passion about educating people about holistic health. You know, it's not just about treating the conditions and fixing. We want to actually prevent. You know, we have several different partners who are medical doctors, but we also have a lot of holistic practitioners. Mm-hmm. And to be quite honest with you, that's what really intrigued me when I first learned about this company, Make Wellness. It was a year ago. We had no products to sell or buy yet. They weren't even in the United States yet. Yeah, I mean, this is a baby company. It's in its infancy stages. And what I found so intriguing when I first learned about it was that people from the medical doctors, people from the medical community, as well as the holistic practitioners, both agreed when I presented them with the information that this was going to be huge.
And that's rare.
I think it is rare in my experience. And I have my own journeys and stories about how I have come to appreciate holistic health. Okay. And some of them would be really enlightening for a lot of people. But I think in America especially, we are so quick to turn to prescriptions, which I am not against. I'm very grateful that I live in a country and in a time in our world where we have access to prescription medication when we need it. But if there's a way to, number one, prevent us from needing it, or number two, to treat or to help get optimal results from our bodies in a way that is all natural and not from prescription medication that is synthetic and doesn't have side effects, that would be, I think, what people are starting to realize ideal. That's ideal. Around the United States, wouldn't you agree that people are really waking up to the benefits of being properly educated about holistic health? Yeah.
And thankfully Trump's, Kennedy and all them that are right now is bringing a lot of that to light. That we've known in the background, like, the things, fructose corns, like all these things, red dyes, all the things that we're not supposed to do. If you're on the holistic side of things, you knew that already. And some people had no idea what that was. So that brings, the whole thing picture to light. At least people are thinking about it. Even if they say, he's crazy, what is that even about? I don't understand. They're thinking about it now. So when we can give them the information, like, you heard what he was saying, you heard this person talking about it, that person talking about it. It's a true thing. And look, we have something that can help you.
Exactly. And not just weight loss, because I know the gateway to the conversation often is weight loss.
That's the thing.
We're not a weight loss company. We don't represent weight loss products solely. However, it's starts a conversation because most people don't really know what peptides are, the general public, of course, the medical professionals, holistic practitioners, and even fitness professionals. They are into peptides. High-level fitness professionals understand what a big deal peptides are and the future of peptides.
And how they help our body.
Correct. I mean, they're basically a chain of amino acids. They're the foundational building blocks of proteins in your body, and they work as messengers. I know I don't need to tell you this, but just so your audience understands, they work as messengers in your body is what we teach people, so that as opposed to a blanket approach of some sort of supplement that you hope is giving you as much vitamin D and not too much, or calcium or whatever else you may be deficient on, these are cell-signaling peptides. They don't work miraculously in an hour necessarily, but the clinical trials show they were done over a 12 to 20 week period. And so over 12 to 20 weeks, we saw drastic results over the last 10 years. I mean, these double-blind third-party human clinical trials, which is why the medical doctors are interested. Yeah. But what opens up the conversation for most people is the discussion about weight loss, because even though people don't understand what peptides are yet in the general public, outside of those industries I mentioned, they have heard of the synthetic peptides, Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide. I could go on and on. They're very popular right now for people trying to lose weight. Of course, there are people who are taking them for other medical reasons. But the issue with that, I know they've helped a lot of people, but the issue is that 40% of the weight on average people are losing when they take those injections is coming from muscle mass. So I say all the time, I'm not a doctor. That's a little disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. Yeah. I'm not a scientist, but with a journalism background and still consider myself a journalist, I do, a lot of journalism work in the community and even nonprofit work. And so it's just my heart, my passion. And I do enjoy taking complex information this is high level science stuff, that can really make a tremendous difference in people's lives and condensing it and then communicating it with the masses. And we get the privilege. I really feel like it's such a blessing to learn about this when we have, and we get to spread this message to people and say, look, this is something that you should consider to get optimal results in your body. So the first part of the discussion usually is about weight loss. So we talked about the synthetic injections, which would be Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, all those. And we talked about a big problem with them, and that 40% of the weight being lost is from muscle, not fat, and why that's so important. And I know even in your dental discussions, you've talked about this before too, because everything's connected. I mean, that's the whole concept of holistic health. But muscle is connected to so much more than people think, even brain health. I mean, losing muscle, we already lose muscle each year once we turn about 30. We lose it's very difficult to maintain and build lean muscle, even if you're really trying. So yes, there are ways that you can offset losing a lot of muscle when you're on the injections, but it's very, very difficult, near impossible for most people to intake the amount of protein every day and to work out in the gym or lift the amount of weights that you need to offset losing that amount of muscle. So if you want to set yourself up, I sort of look at it as financially, the time to talk about retirement is not when you are going to retire that year, right? It's you have to think about these things early on. And with our bodies, there's nothing more important than setting ourselves up properly well in advance so that we age gracefully, so that we age healthy in a way that allows us to be active with our grandkids, to not have aches and pains, because unfortunately, too many people think it's normal to have aches and pains as you age. I know you don't.